Good morning. Trying to get myself together quick. Good morning. Welcome to the pipeline. Welcome to the pipeline where we got more audio than visuals. Click on here for me, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It's early, y'all. The house is quiet, so give me a little second. Y'all know how it is early in the morning. Y'all know how it is. Got some things we gonna talk about today. Not really a whole bunch, just the whole Quando Rondo situation. Um, I think I heard baby pipeline wake up. I want to talk to y'all about the Quando Rondo situation this morning. Also, y'all, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get myself together, right? Okay, so listen, tomorrow's back to school time. A lot of kids still not in school. Some kids been in school, right? So we got to get ready to that whole back to adapting to the kids' schedule, the school schedule, the working parents. We getting back into the whole transition of things. And then like some warmer states around the world, y'all can't experience what I'm about to say. But around this time and next month is the time we start looking for salt, right? Salt. We start getting snow about October, November. So like when we get our back to school supplies and stuff, it's about time to start getting them heavy duty shovels, them snow blowers, them loading up on salt and stuff like that. So that's what we got to get ready for all that. Santa Claus is up north. Hold on, y'all. So listen, it's so many things I want to say about this Quando Rondo situation because it seemed like the last few lives I've been talking about him for some reason. Like, see, y'all be thinking I don't know what I be talking about. I know what I be talking about. I know what I be talking about. We was just talking about him tweeting a few weeks ago, I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my life. I did a blog on that probably about 15 minutes. Like, how much are you really fighting for your life if you could tweet you fighting for your life while fighting for your life, right? So at that time, we didn't know what he was in the hospital for. They was like, oh, he in the hospital for a drug overdose, allegedly. That's the rumors we heard a few weeks ago. But this Quando Rondo situation to me is like it's a soap opera with him. It really is. And rest in peace to his friend who was gunned down. I think it was yesterday, they said, y'all, if I'm not mistaken. When they said it was yesterday, what was his name? Lil Pab. Condolences to him. Condolences to his family. That's a sad situation. But to me, with Quando Rondo, it's like a soap opera. I mean, it's like every time you look up, it's something with him like looking goofy or like weird. Like it just be off. Like when he hit the headlines, it be something like, here we go. And it's sad to say it like that because real situations do happen. And it's just the headlines he get caught up in just always have you thinking like, he a goofy or what is he doing? It's like, does he have a lack of common sense or something? Because I'm going to tell y'all, like, I really want to go back to the beginning. I want to go back to the beginning because I just got familiar with Quando Rondo about 3 years ago. I'm not his fan. I'm familiar with his music. And of course, to me, I don't know if he was already hot behind his NBA Youngboy affiliation, with the label and whatnot, being his artist. Well, I'm quite sure that played a part too. But I didn't get familiar with him until after King Von's passing. That's when I really started tuning in to him. I heard about him, but I didn't tune in to him until the King Von situation. So I want to snippet this little piece of one of his interviews. Good morning, good morning. If you in here, pull up part. I'm sorry, y'all, for the pause. I was just trying to. Okay, let's take a quick listen. It's like a lack of common sense with him, or something's just off with him. Like the way he talk, the way he think, the headlines he always attached to. But when it comes to the talent, I think he is talented. That I do. Now it's nor here or there if we feel like he in the top this or if he the best or whatever. But far as being talented, I think Quando Rondo is talented. Regardless of how the world may feel, talent is talent. We can't take that from him. Whether people think his music is trash or people think it's good. The talent is there. He has a fan base. He has a following. But let's listen to me, the lack of something. The lack of something.
It's like I had an out-of-body experience. You feel me? As soon as I got hit, man, I put this on my dead grandma Terry grave, man. I'm like, man, I swear to God on everything I love, man. I'm like, man, I think.
Did y'all hear like the way his delivery is when he speak? You can hear the fear in his words as he is trying to be careful on what he say. On top of trying to be careful on what he's saying, is he on something? Look at how he drags his words. I don't know if that's where he from. Is that how they talk, drag everything out, or it's something slow about it? But let's listen because you can hear it. You can hear it in his voice.
About this shit every day, nobody know what I went through. Somebody else would have panicked. Man, it's like I don't know, it's like the devil was coming to get me. It's like
Whoa. Whoa, did y'all hear that? He said when King Von approached him, it was like the devil. Those are some very strong words. And as you hear him grab, he's trying to grab what word he wanted to use. And as he's trying to find the right word to use, he nervous. And is he possibly under the influence, which is making him more nervous to tell the world? Keep in mind, around this time, this is the first time the world has heard from Quando Rondo after the situation happened.
My soul, I can't even explain it, man. It's like my soul left my body and I was up in the air. Mm-hmm. And I was just looking down, watching myself, all that, just watching everything going on. Man, I swear to God.
To me, it sounds like he's giving his truth. It sounds like he's giving his truth raw and uncut. I had an outer body experience. It was as if he checked out, blacked out, and clicked back in or something. I'm watching it and I can't believe what's happening. fear, adrenaline, everything is going on top of you feeling like, I feel such a strong demonic presence coming towards me. That's what we say about energy. Remember, I was talking about the when you have a sexual encounter, you have to be careful who you have sex with because of that transference of energy. You could feel it. I'm not speaking about it in that such a way, but I'm just saying, far as the demonic presence he felt while being approached. On top of that, being in the air. So did he get lifted up into the air? Did he grab him and put him in the air? Because he said, I was in the air looking down, but I was having an outer body experience.
I said, Lord, please let me make it home. Okay. I come from praying people. Now I know, like, come on, man. No matter what I do in life, nobody too good to be close to God. I don't care how much of a killer you is, how much of a rich person you is, how much of a big dog you is, how much of a stand-up dog person you is. Like, it don't matter. Anybody could be close to God, and I pray a lot.
You hear that? Sound like he know what he talking about. Sound like he know what he talking about. So even after having this sense of fear because of the situation that took place, like he said, Lord, please let me make it home. He said he prayed, and he sound like he know what he talking about. But when we look up, his actions don't add up to what he talking about. Because if he did, he wouldn't keep coming up in these headlines. So I'm gonna get through this for a second, and then I'm gonna give the harsh truth of the situation, which is my opinion, my commentary. If you want to, feel free to pull up comment. I will read your comment out loud and we can discuss it. But you can hear it in his voice. He was petrified. Petrified. This is when it all started. This when it all started going left for Quando.
Even though I do what I do, like, even though I know I ain't living all the way right, nobody perfect. We human. I still pray to God. I'm like, Lord, please, like, just on some out loud screaming job, like out of body experience type job, like, Lord, please let me make it home. It's like everything went back normal, and I've been.
Lord, please let me make it home, and everything went right back normal. This is only a clip of the interview that he did with Angela Yee. The one I'm watching is only 6 minutes. And I would say 3 of the minutes, he pretty much is stuttering. Ma'am, outer body experience. Outer body experience. That's all I could say. I just had an outer body experience. Something he never experienced in life. Now, let's imagine, right? Because like some people say, oh, I never had an outer experience before. I think we all have had some type of outer body experience where we seen something that happened that we couldn't believe, or we personally have been through something that a lot of us got to take to our graves because it was so much of a traumatic experience or an outer body experience. You still can't fathom what happened. You still are at a loss for words on how to even describe what you saw or what you experienced. I mean, let's just be honest about it. As much as the world hate Quando Rondo, gotta respect this truth. This is his truth. I think this is the only time we have even heard him speak on the situation in so much depth is the interview that he did with Angelique.
Back down. All I know is I look up and I see my partner on the ground. You feel me? Shot up. So I'm like, he's shot. He's shot. Like, I'm like, he's shot, y'all. Like, I'm screaming out, my partner shot. Because, mind you, he got shot 4 times that exact night. And a couple months before that, like, with a couple incidents happened in my hometown, he been shot 5 times.
He talking about the same friend who he was with. Y'all know another guy got shot too that same night. And that guy who got shot that night was also shot not too long before that in his hometown 5 times. So this guy was shot probably 9 times, probably within a few months of each other. This is the traumatic stress and traumatic events that to me seems to follow Quando, which makes it seem like his lack of common sense, because a lot of these things that keep occurring around him the last year and a half or 2 years is situations that it don't seem like he's learning from. So is it a lack of common sense, or can we just say it's stupidity at this point? And I'm not here to just like not be so I'm not even gonna say biased, but does that mean I'm not showing no type of sympathy for what Quando Rondo is going through? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying it's his decision making that has the world questioning, like, what's wrong with dude?
Like, this man, I took 9 bullets.
Right.
You feel me? 5 times a couple months before the incidents, 4 times that night.
And there were other shootings going on in that
Man,
parking
there
lot.
was so many people shooting, man. If you was there, you wouldn't even. If you was there, you would be hurt from everything that's going on because nobody really know. You feel me? I see my partner shot up. Like, a lot of people saying that I was trying to take bro chain.
And it's crazy because, like, once upon a time, allegedly, they say Quando, Rondo, and King Von was friends or associates. I wouldn't know if they're necessarily friends, but like associates of some kind once upon a time. So did the drama allegedly come from the rift come in between, I guess, the NBA YoungBoy baby mom situation, the Janaya girl? Is that got something to do with it? Because there's so many different stories to what happened, and that's just allegedly. That's just a rumor. So I don't want to put that out there. But how did it get to that point?
Like, ma'am, this like being in Afghanistan and 2 soldiers shooting it out with 2 other soldiers and a bag of money in the middle of the ground. Ma'am, you think people...
Did you hear what he said? It was like Afghanistan. And 2 people on one side, 2 people all together, 4 people shooting with a bag of money in the middle. So who's supposed to be the bag? Is the bag they fighting over NBA YoungBoy, allegedly? Is that the bag? Or is it the games and the manipulation through the puppet masters, through the record labels, is the bag he talking about? Is the bag clout? What bag is he describing that they fighting over? He says it's a bag of money in the middle. Who trying to get the bag? Is this for record sales? For the money? Is this about NBA YoungBoy allegedly? That bag? Trying to fight over that bag, protecting that bag? Because think about it. This whole situation was allegedly tied to the whole NBA YoungBoy situation. Quando Rondo is NBA YoungBoy's artist. So, only thing, well, see, I don't get, it's this stuff right here go deep, and you really don't, there's so many different stories and different pieces and rumors. You really don't know what to put together with the truth, but we do know that Quando Rondo is NBA YoungBoy's affiliate. I mean, that's
in the middle of a shootout. You think so many bullets flying? You think people think about that bag of money?
Well, I saw his manager track said he didn't even think he had a chain on that night.
Ma'am, I don't, ma'am.
But he wasn't sure. But
I'm not even sure, ma'am. But a chain, ma'am, ma'am, when it comes to jewelry, ma'am, only people with bad intentions who clout chasing and stuff looking to try to take a nigga chain. Right. Ma'am, $50,000, $60,000.
That's a fact. That's a fact. See, the young boy, the young man, I'm sorry, I'm calling him young man. The young man know what he's talking about. So that's why it's like, okay, Quando Rondo do have common sense. But then he lack common sense by keep making the same decisions over and over. Keep putting yourself in the same situations over and over, which is causing people to really lose their lives. All these shootouts, all these innocent people, bystanders, other cases, all of this is still police is watching everything. Police is watching everything.
The chain, man, like a nigga could go buy that. That's 50, 60,000. Like, that's not nothing.
Plus, little Tim over here got shot. You're not thinking about taking
partner over
chain.
here. I'm knowing his bad situation. He just got shot up. What if he died here? So I'm screaming out, he's shot. He's shot. You feel me? Like, man, like, I don't know where none of that came from. Right. I never.
You heard what he said. You can hear it in his voice. You can hear the fear in his voice. You can hear the empathy, the sympathy for King Von and what happened. Quando Rondo don't seem like, I don't know what probably back and forth they probably did why King Von was living, but it really does seem like he's compassionate about what happened. He don't know what happened and why it happened. He sounds so confused. But after this moment, after this interview right here, is to me when it all started going left for Quando Rondo. Like it had already went left after the passing of King Von and what happened with his friend, with Quando Rondo's friend, Lil Tim, being the gunman. The world pretty much was already against Quando Rondo anyways after that. But then after he did the interview with Angela Yee, it seemed like that's when he got stamped by the world. Like, we not buying your music. We not really coming to your shows. We not really supporting you. At this point, we not feeling you behind the situation. Did it end Quando Rondo's career? Or do he still have a fighting chance to come back with NBA YoungBoy's help and being under the NBA YoungBoy umbrella? That's a good question.
In life, ma'am, I never in life, ma'am, never in life had words with them, ever.
And you at this point didn't know who.
Oh, so he said right then and there, like, I never had beef. I never said nothing to him or them. That's not my beef. That's NBA beef. That ain't none of my beef. I'm just affiliated. I ain't even want no smoke with none of them. You see how he keeps saying, ma'am? Y'all look. I can't. Ma'am.
It was either.
Ma'am, I didn't know this was him. Ma'am, I swear to God, on my...
Hold on, yo, I gotta go back one more time. Ma'am, I didn't know he was gonna kick in on that part. Hold on, one more time.
I swear to God, on my soul, ma'am. Ma'am, this is on neighborhood crip, ma'am. I did not know that was him till the next day.
So y'all heard what he said on Neighborhood Crip, right? So they were saying allegedly it was some rolling 60s Crips, allegedly, that's supposed to have shot up his SUV where his partner was just gunned down at yesterday, Lil Pablo, I guess. So they were saying some LA Crips. So I'm like, we just heard him say LA Crip in the interview. Then they said the LA Hoovers was the ones who allegedly did the shooting. So I was confused. I'm like, why ain't they the same? Ain't they on the same team? But see, I don't know LA politics with their gangs. I'm not too articulate on that. I know they got a lot of different gangs out there. I've been out there a few times. It's just, they got a lot of gangs out there. I don't even know. I don't even know if we can count. Like, how many gangs do they have out there? So is this the same affiliation? Could that possibly mean he was backdoored Quando Rondo friend and him? Possibly. Or was it another set of gang members from another side? Because the whole world ran with Quando Rondo was blicked. And I'm like, I ain't seen no proof of that. Like, even when the bigger sources, TMZ and Vlad, even when all the bloggers ran with it, I'm like, something ain't right. The last couple lives I've been talking about Quando Rondo, been talking about fighting for his life. Even if y'all know 2 weeks ago when he got robbed by the girl, and then allegedly, it's the videos on YouTube, and then the girl who robbed him, her car ended up allegedly getting shot up. That was last week. And now this week, his car gets shot up, and then the boy, his friend, ended up getting gunned down and losing his life. So he been telling us this for weeks. I'm fighting for my life. It's been so much stuff going on. So at first, when he was fighting for his life, I guess on the overdose or whatever, allegedly the world didn't really understand or wasn't taking him serious. Like, because I know I was. And I'm like, if you in the hospital fighting fit on a drug overdose, allegedly, and they was talking about they didn't know if he was going to make it. Remember when the rumors came out and stuff? So I'm like, well, wow, if he in the ICU or whatever, why is he on social media texting, I'm posting, I'm fighting for my life? I just couldn't understand that. So that's what made me keep talking about him this last, week and a half, about him saying he fighting for his life. But I had no clue this was going to happen with a shooting and his friend was going to end up losing his life. I told y'all I be knowing what I be talking about. We just was talking about him and him fighting for his life for the last week and a half. This was even before the shooting, because he was already telling us what was going on. And then we watching him after he get robbed and everything else. See, Quando Rondo has been making the headlines under some strange coincidences. Yes, we felt sad when we seen yesterday on the news his friend get pulled out the SUV and we see Quando Rondo have a breakdown. Death is following him. Is it behind his NBA Youngboy affiliation, or is it behind the decisions that Quando Rondo is making for himself? The rate that he's going, it looked like a man is losing a battle with his love, which is his music, his business, his fans. Numbers is dropping, streams is dropping, shows not selling as much as they used to. He may be the sole provider for his family. So when we really sit back and take a look at it, and it's going to be some harsh truth. And I like King Von. I do. I like King Von more than I like Quando Rondo, just because of where King Von came from and making it out, and even with his circumstances, beating the bodies and still making it to the rap game young, building a buzz, building income for his family. All of that was cool. Far as what he did in their personal lives, I don't never get involved with these rappers, like personal lives, like talking about they like how they living and this and that and the other. You know, everybody got a life. These people are celebrities, but they are humans. They bleed like we bleed. They go through pain like we go through pain. They go through losses, everything else. So I don't really get caught up in what they do in their spare time. Even like with the R. Kellys and the who else can we say? Just the list goes on. Even with Birdman, like when people got all this stuff going on in their personal lives, I don't take away from the talent. When I speak on this stuff with these artists, I base them off of their talent, not their personal lives. Who are we to judge what people do in their personal lives? Look at what we do in our personal lives. Who are we to judge anybody? You know what I'm saying? So I was tripping off of that. So I was like, you know what? It's really some harsh truths to the King Von and Quando Rondo situation, because let me just share some with y'all that I know a lot of people ain't gonna want to hear. I know they're not gonna want to hear it. But listen to me before you bag out. Just listen. If we really think about it, right? Quando Rondo most definitely is the pawn, but he's a pawn for being loyal to the wrong people for the wrong things, which made him a pawn because people seen his loyalty and took advantage of him. And when with him having lack of common sense and looking at the material and the fame and who the person is, he got blindsided by what the whole plan was, which was to use him as a pawn. He got caught up on both ends of the stick, either which way you look at it, right? Quando Rondo had no clue that King Von and his people was there. Quando Rondo simply was out and about having a good time in Atlanta. Harsh truth. This is a harsh truth. King Von woke up out of sleep, got out that car, and went to approach Quando Rondo, who had no clue. We just heard him say in the interview, when I looked up and seen him, he said it was like the devil was coming towards me. We seen it. Imagine that fear that had to go through Quando Rondo's body to see King Von approaching him on demon time. Quando Rondo said, I had an outer body experience. Grab Quando Rondo. Lil Tim come. Lil Tim is the stepper, from what we call it, the stepper. He know Quando Rondo ain't like that. In the words of Mo3, y'all, you ain't really like that. That he ain't like that. Lil Tim know this. Lil Tim know he ain't like that. Lil Tim also know King Von's reputation. Put Lil Tim in this situation. I gotta take up for my friend. And I know if I don't take him out, I know the consequences that's about to come behind if I don't take him out. Either which way, Lil Tim knew it was going to be consequences or some kind of repercussions was going to happen from his actions. Whether if it came from street justice or possibly spending the rest of his life in jail if convicted of the crime. There's no winners. There's no winners here. Nothing but losses. A loss of life and a loss of us possibly losing more black men to the system. Being guilty by association has been 75% of conviction rates in the United States. just for one to hang with these people or one to ride with these people. You got to be careful on who you surround yourself around. You possibly could end up a headline or end up in a situation that you had no clue about. Quando Rondo just said on an interview with Angela, I didn't even know it was him who passed away until the next day. Everybody was shooting. Only thing I know from what he said in the interview, this is his words, quote unquote. Only thing I know is that my man's was shot 4 times that night. He was shot 2 months prior to this 5 times, which was a total of 9 times Quando Rondo friend was shot. Now, we don't know how old Quando Rondo's friend was, but I can imagine he's in the same age group as these guys. Just imagine that. Now, that's some powerful truth. But can the world ridicule Quando Rondo for being in these situations constantly? Yes, we can. We most definitely can ridicule him, because if you know better, you do better. You gotta move different. You gotta learn from your mistakes. If not, he gonna be on the verge of crashing out sooner or later. Whatever is happening to Quando Rondo, I don't think it's too late. I don't think it's too late to make a turnaround or move different. I don't. Just depending on who he got as his management team and who he got behind him. But if he keep putting himself in a situation to keep making headlines for views and numbers, he going about it the wrong way if that's his purpose. Because think about it. A lot of these artists got to find other ways to keep them paychecks coming in if the music ain't selling. I don't think he's doing this intentionally, being in these headlines. I think he's just having a lack of common sense and poor decision making. There's no proof he got shot. Then they said he got shot 2 different places. It's no proof that he got shot. Then they just I don't believe he got shot. I just believe the vehicle was shot and his friend did lose his life. Could he possibly could have got grazed or something? We don't know. It's a possibility. But as far as having actual proof and photo and images of him in the hospital or family member going live at the hospital, we haven't seen none of that. That's what made me say this is fake news. But the real news is an attempt was made on his life and his friend did lose his life to gun violence. Y'all pay attention in these streets. Y'all keep your eyes open. Subscribe to the channel. Email me pipelinenews2020@gmail.com. Hit the like button for me. Feel free to comment. Tell me what y'all think on the Quando Rondo situation. Till next time, I'm gone.